In the midst of social distancing and widespread power outages, a school district is finding ways to keep their kids safe. A Hazard native comes back home to survey the damage in the region he still cares deeply about.
And as we head into your Friday, we will see that sunshine continue. I'll have those details coming up.
As more people are unemployed because of the COVID-19 pandemic, coupled with Sunday's windstorm and power outages, one school district is trying to keep up with the needs of their students. WYMT's Madison program is in Leslie County, where they are trying to help those in need.
I'm here at Mountain View Elementary, where they're one of the few schools in the district that have power, so they're extending a helping hand to those outside of the school. They are offering free meals to any student 18 years old and under. They still can't run their bus routes to deliver the meals, but they can come to the school to get meals. Heather Gay, principal here at Mountain View, says it's important to make sure all kids get fed during this time.
And that's what we want to stress, that it doesn't matter where you're from. You don't even have to be from Kentucky. If you are here and you need a meal, make sure you get that child here so we can get them fed.
Laurel Grocer offered up this refrigerator truck behind me to try to keep the food in the county from going bad. But as schools regain power, they're unloading the truck, as you can see, putting it on buses, and then taking it back to the schools. For now, in Leslie County, Madison Program, WYMT Mountain News.
We will have more on the school's efforts to get kids fed later tonight. Thousands of people remain without power after storms that hit this past weekend. Kentucky Power and other utility crews have been working nonstop to restore electricity. People in Leslie, Knott, Perry, and Pike counties all were hit hard Sunday night when hurricane-force winds passed through. At last check, Kentucky Power's website showed just around 14,000 customers without power. Of course, that's down from 62,000 at one point. A family of 5 is left with nothing after Sunday's winds tore through their community in Letcher County, knocking a massive tree into their home. Samuel Sizemore and his family have lived in the home for 15 years. They left Sunday worried about how strong those winds were. Where the tree fell would have been where his kids were if they would have stayed home. They do not have homeowners insurance. We'll have more on this story coming up at 6.
Well, we saw that sunshine return once again today. It's been another gorgeous day and a little as well. Let's go ahead and take you up to a few of the up into London. You guys can see plenty of sunshine, really not a cloud in the sky for today. And as we go ahead and look at Stonecrest, they're starting to see just a few more clouds creep back into the mountains, and we're going to continue to see that tonight to tomorrow. Those temperatures right now into about those mid to upper 50s, close to 60 in Middlesboro, 61 in Jonesville, 55 in Jackson, a little bit cooler up into Moorhead and Lexington as they are only at about 50 degrees. Now as we head throughout the night tonight, we are going to continue to see those clouds increase for a lot of us. We're going to see those temperatures drop, but not as cold as it's been the last few nights. So those clouds increase later tonight, and those temperatures will drop into about the upper 30s to lower 40s, so not looking too bad tonight, but tomorrow we see those clouds, warmer temperatures, and some rain chances late Friday into your Saturday. I'll have those details coming up in a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you. With the number of damage assessments rising in the Commonwealth from those heavy winds this past weekend, more help is needed, and that is what one Hazard native came home to do. WYMT's Lacey Roberts went on a roof inspection with the local company and has more.
As debris is cleared, homeowners begin the process of seeing what damage was left behind.
Your home is your most important asset that you have, so you want to protect it.
That is Dwayne Davidson. He is the co-owner of A-OK Roofing and Exteriors, a Hazard native who now lives more than 100 miles away, coming back to help homeowners through the claims process as companies are flooded with claims. We
contact the adjusters and the insurance companies directly to help them. We're already dealing with a stressful time.
First, they identify noticeable damage.
750 vents.
Missing or lifting shingles, measuring the roof.
19, maybe you don't have a leak now and it could start leaking in a few days.
Helping to identify trouble areas.
We just want to be here to help ease the burden.
Offering completely free inspections and estimates. Estimates from this storm higher than normal.
$13,000, $14,000.
You don't see storm damage like this very often. You know, you're kind of in the mountains, which kind of cuts down on the straight line wind.
Completing the process, practicing social distancing, leaving your claim in your mailbox. In Hazard, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Davidson says, although your estimate may seem high, if you have insurance, you should only have to pay your deductible. Many businesses in Kentucky have been at a standstill for a month or more, and many people are wondering when they might reopen and employees can get back to work. The Kentucky Chamber of Commerce says major manufacturers such as Ford and Toyota closing had a ripple effect that led to many of their suppliers also temporarily closing. They want to get businesses back open as soon as possible, but they also want to make sure it is done in a way that keeps everyone healthy.
It's going to be as easy as just flipping a switch and turning things back on. We have to get the workforce back to work. We have to have the supplies for manufacturers to reopen and those supply chains. So it's going to take some time and some preparation. And that's what we're hoping to do, is to get kind of the best minds in Kentucky that are impacted by this, put them together and see if we can come up with some safe recommendations.
Part of these discussions will be developing a timeline for when things can begin to return to normal. Webinars to bring business leaders together begin next Tuesday. A coronavirus relief bill that would have put some Kentuckians back to work failed to pass in Kentucky's General Assembly. The legislative session wrapped up last night. Senate Bill 136 would have allowed chiropractors to reopen. It would have also required licensing boards to prevent Governor Beshear with a plan for starting to reopen Kentucky's economy. A Walmart employee here in Hazard tested positive for COVID-19. Health department officials tell us the 41-year-old man actually lives in Knott County. If you visited the Hazard Walmart between March 14th and April 9th, you may have been exposed. Health officials ask that you monitor yourself closely for symptoms. Healthcare providers are working to make more COVID-19 tests available. First Care Urgent Care is now testing daily at all 13 of its locations in Kentucky. Chelsea Jones is in Winchester talking with employees at the company who say testing is more important than ever.
As days go by, more testing is becoming available in Kentucky. First Care Urgent Care centers now offer testing daily.
We secured a contract with a lab company. We were ready to go. We know that we have a very important role as an urgent care company, especially our company that's located in typically smaller communities.
First Care Urgent Care is open 7 days a week, and each day there are about a dozen tests available for patients who qualify.
It's just this virus, unfortunately. I mean, it's unlike anything we've ever seen.
Cassandra Rochelle is a nurse practitioner at the center in Winchester. 2 days ago, she returned to Kentucky after volunteering at a hospital in Brooklyn, New York, where she treated patients with COVID-19.
So almost every patient that came into the hospital that I worked at, if they were short of breath, I mean, within an hour, they had to get intubated by our respiratory therapists. They're truly out of vents. Physicians are having to make that choice of what patient gets a vent versus another when there's only one.
Seeing such a grim reality in New York, Rochelle says she's grateful more testing is being offered at First Care Urgent Care. She's undergoing a quarantine for 2 weeks before she returns to work.
It was one of the craziest experiences of my life. But I loved getting to impact all the patients there, and it's truly going to help me be a better provider here.
In Winchester, Chelsea Jones, WYMT Mountain News.
The national death toll from the coronavirus has risen sharply, in part because of how victims are counted. That number is now past 31,000. It includes more than 4,000 New Yorkers who were never tested but did show symptoms. The governor there has issued an executive order requiring all New Yorkers to wear face masks or coverings when out in public where social distancing is not possible. President Trump is holding a video conference call with the nation's governors this afternoon to discuss federal guidelines about reopening the country. He is also talking with lawmakers today as negotiations have stalled this week over adding money to the Paycheck Protection Program for small businesses. President Trump expressed an urgency to reopen the country and says he will announce new guidelines today about how to ease restrictions in some areas.
We think some of the states can actually open up before the deadline of May 1st. And I think that will be a very exciting time indeed. Governors are looking forward. They're chomping at the bit to get going.
The rolling reopening will likely begin with 9 states that have fewer than 1,000 coronavirus cases, provided the governors there agree. The COVID-19 pandemic is crippling the economy. Another 5.2 million people filed for unemployment benefits last week. That means 22 million Americans have filed for unemployment in the last month. That's the worst stretch of U.S. job losses on record. Locally, more than 115,000 Kentuckians filed for unemployment last week. That raises Kentucky's unemployment claims in the last 4 weeks to about 400,000 people. Another bill that's gotten a lot of attention in Frankfurt in the last few weeks is Senate Bill 9, also known as the Born Alive Infant Protection Act. The law says doctors have to do whatever they can to protect an infant if an abortion procedure fails. It also outlines charges doctors could face. Lawmakers passed the bill late last night. The ACLU and Planned Parenthood want Governor Beshear to veto that bill, calling the part giving regulatory powers to the Attorney General, quote, a power grab. Coming up on Mountain News at 4:30, options you should know about if you can't afford your mortgage right now.
And we are going to see some rain move back into the forecast Friday night into your Saturday, but how long will it stick around? I'll have that answer coming up.